The story of Sohni and Mahwal. The story is set in the 18th century, in the town of Gujarat, on the banks of the river Chenab in Punjab, now in Pakistan. Sohni was the beautiful and talented daughter of Tulla, or Tulla Kumher, a renowned potter. She grew up helping her father, expertly decorating the clay pitchers, sarahis, and mugs that came off his wheel. Her father's shop, located near the river, became famous not only for its fine pottery, but also for Sohni's artistic designs and captivating beauty. One day, Shahzada Isa Beg, a wealthy and handsome merchant from Bukhara, now Uzbekistan, arrived in Gujarat with his trading caravan. He stopped at Tulla's shop and was instantly smitten by Sohni. Unable to forget her, Izzat Beg began to frequent the shop, buying the earthenware daily, often more than he needed, just to catch a glimpse of Sohni. Sohni, in turn, lost her heart to the noble-born stranger. Consumed by his love, Izzat Beg eventually ran out of money. Instead of returning to Bukhara with his caravan, he renounced his former life of wealth and took up the humble job of a servant in Tulla's house. His main task was to herd and graze the buffaloes. Due to this work, he became known by the local name Mahwal, which means buffalo herder in Punjabi. The love between Sohni and Mahwal grew, but their secret meeting soon became the talk of the town, causing a commotion within the strict Kumher potter community. It was considered unacceptable for a daughter of their community to marry an outsider and a mere buffalo herder. To quell the scandal and social disapproval, Sohni's parents hastily arranged her marriage to another potter, a cousin, against her wishes. Sohni felt helpless and was forced to marry the man she despised. She was sent off to her new husband's house in a palanquin dholi. Devastated, Mahwal renounced the world completely and became a fakir hermit. He found a small hut on the bank of the river Chenab, directly across the river from Sohni's new home. Sohni refused to accept her marriage, remaining devoted only to Mahwal. Her husband, realizing he could not win her heart, often went away on long business trips. Taking advantage of his absence, Sohni found a way to reunite with her beloved. In the dead of night, when the world was asleep, the lovers would meet. Mahwal, in his devotion, would wait for her. It is said that once when the river was high and he could not catch a fish for her, he cut a piece of flesh from his own thigh, roasted it, and offered it to Sohni. She only discovered his sacrifice when she noticed the wound on his leg, further strengthening her resolve. Sohni would cross the mighty Chenab River every night, using a large, inverted, hard-baked earthenware pitcher gara as a float to keep her body buoyant as she swam. She would hide this reliable pitcher in the bush near the riverbank before returning home before dawn. The nightly rendezvous eventually aroused suspicion. Sohni's sister-in-law, her husband's sister, driven by jealousy and a desire to uphold the family's honor, followed Sohni one night and discovered her secret meeting place in the hiding spot of the earthenware pitcher. The next day, the sister-in-law enacted a cruel plan. She removed the hard-baked pitcher and replaced it with an identical-looking unbaked, or half-baked one. That fatal night, Sohni went to the river as usual. Unaware of the sabotage, she took the fragile, unbaked pitcher and entered the raging river. Midway across, the unbaked clay began to dissolve in a strong current. Realizing she was sinking, Sohni cried out for Mahwal. From the opposite bank, Mahwal heard her desperate cries and saw her drowning. He immediately plunged into the torrential waters to save her. However, the river was too strong. They were both swept away by the merciless Chenab River, drowning in each other's presence. The separated lovers were finally united in death, immortalizing their tale as a symbol of eternal sacrificial love. The story of Sohni Mahwal remains one of the most poignant folk tales, celebrated in music, poetry, especially the Qissa of Faisal Shah Sayyid, and art, highlighting the conflict between passionate love and rigid societal norms.